What's a podcast? I like your show.
How did I get here? Welcome to the Shipe Sports Show.
I am your host, Matthew Shipe, joined always by my co-host and producer. Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to another episode of the Shipe Sports Talk Show. I am your host, Matthew Shipe. I had a little sound difficulties there from my co-host and producer, Paul. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks.
Episode 98 on the road to 100, joined always by my co-host and producer, Anthony.
What's going on? How are we doing tonight?
Good. Anthony had
Even
a quick. Anthony had a quick.
And producer. I'm pretty sure you called me.
Yeah, I was
there
gonna
again.
say you just got a
Just
promotion.
got upgraded. Yeah, even though I didn't know I was doing any producing, but I'll take it.
Didn't I say Paul? I said Paul. What happened?
You said me again on the co-host.
Yeah, you
producer.
said-
Let's just say I'm not
That's all right.
the only one who
Cool.
screwed up.
Yeah. Well, Anthony had a change of wardrobe. I guess you guys didn't really. He took off his devil shirt.
Bad juju, man. They're losing. You gotta change it up.
And then joined now and finally back on the Skype is Chris, the amazing co-host. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, guys? Long time no see. Work's been busy for me, but I'm back at it with you guys.
Yep, rocking the red there.
Yes, sir.
Before we get going, real quick, shout out to the I guess did I mention last week what change I made to?
Nope.
I am now the official head coach of the Bethesda Chevy Chase JV baseball team. So I finally am that now. That I got that promotion on Thursday afternoon.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I just didn't say anything on the show last week.
Well, that's good.
So far,
Good
we
for
have
you.
another victory today, and we are 5-0. So the JV baseball team is 5-0 on the season. We got a doubleheader coming up on Saturday to try to make it 7-0. So hopefully we can get that going. Shout out to them. Shout out to the BCC lacrosse team. A lot of those guys watch the show. We appreciate it. So shout out to them, and shout out to all BCC students who watch the show. I've got a lot of support from the school there, so it's really awesome for all of them to come out and support all of us here on the show.
Woohoo!
Yeah, no
for sure.
doubt.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
So let's get right to it, man. First we're gonna go around with some important sports news. Anthony, I guess me and you will go with the first one with Ronda Rousey's debut at
Hey, what?
WrestleMania. What
What was that? What?
What?
What was it?
First of all, it's a sports minute. That's what you guys told me to write down.
All right,
Yeah,
sports.
Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna get it done. But what was it? Her sports? What was? I just want to hear what it was
What
again.
did I say? I said debut.
There you go.
There you go.
What did
You
I
said
say?
Debut.
Debut.
You're having a rough time there. Do you need someone else to run it tonight?
No, I'm good to go. So
Yeah.
Rousey had her pro wrestling debut on
Debut.
Sunday, and me and Anthony both saw it, and I was really impressed. Anthony, what were your initial reactions from her?
Yeah, definitely thoroughly impressed. Honestly, I thought it was one of the best matches of the night, that it kept interest. Not only because she was in the match and everyone wanted to see what happened, but the match itself wasn't bad, and I think she shocked a lot of people that thought she was just showing up there like as a publicity stunt type thing, like just to be like, I'm Ronda Rousey, I could show up.
Mm-hmm.
And she showed up, and she really turned heads, and I think that they're realizing now that she is 100% in on becoming, an active superstar in the WWE roster. So hats off to her, and I look forward to seeing what she does in the future there.
Yeah, good for her. And then also UFC news, Brock Lesnar, I guess, re-signed with WWE, but then they said he also can fight. And then there's reports now that Lesnar is number one contender for the UFC heavyweight title, which the guy just came back from a suspension, and he's
Well-
the number one contender. So what's up with that?
Here's the thing too with that a lot of people don't realize. Not saying he should be number one contender, but until he officially declares himself back in the U.S., is it USADA? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Until he puts himself back in the pool, to go back into fighting, he still has to serve the 6 months. So until he officially enters himself back into it, the 6 months will then start. So right now, the 6 months are just on standstill until he officially says, "Hey, I'm going to return." So whenever he does that, it's 6 months to that point. So, it's still very much up in the air what he's going to do, but the suspension definitely will be served at some point, and now it's just a matter of when he goes back. Speaking on him signing a new contract, they're saying it could be a long-term one. Then I hear maybe it's just for another month, just to finally have one last match to officially take the title off him, and then he will go back to UFC. So it's So it remains to be seen. There's a lot of rumors out there of him saying that he was just using it as leverage because he doesn't want to go back. Then there's the talk of obviously he very much does want to go back with what you said that he would face the champion when he returns.
That's ridiculous that he even gets that. But all right,
He's a box office draw. When you're a
Yeah.
box office
It's a
draw,
business.
That's
It's a
cool.
business, sir.
just
UFC
saying
never
that's the
used
way
to
it
be
works.
about,
You don't
UFC
have
never
to
used
like
to be
it.
about that. That's all I'm saying.
When was this?
It's a business since day one.
Whatever.
I'm just saying, when was it not like that?
I mean, I used to see where guys would earn their title shots, not hand it to him, like John
Yeah, I mean,
Jones.
they-
I understand he's a draw, but the dude,
John Jones was a great fighter.
he's also was
I mean,
a
you're-
pothead, a crackhead, and everything else underneath
Yeah,
the
but
sun.
you see what I'm saying? Again, what did Chris just say? It's a business. They put his personal. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's the way a business runs. If the
Yeah,
guy
I get
is
you.
one of the best, he's going to get it. Just like Ronda Rousey was the best fighter in UFC, not male or female. That's why she was the main event constantly, and that's why people were buying the pay-per-views over and over, whether she lost or whether she won. And that's the same thing with Lesnar coming back. He's going to be a huge draw, so he's going to get the big fight. Whether he wins or not, I mean, that's a whole nother story.
All right, so real quick for golf, Patrick Reed is your Masters champ. A lot of people don't like Patrick Reed. I'm happy for the guy.
I meant
Tiger.
to ask you that actually. Why don't people like
So
him?
there was a rumor that in college he used to steal from his teammates, like in the locker room or whatever they were at. He would go
What?
and what?
I said, what? Like, that's wild.
Yeah, I mean that's literally what people would say about him. Whether it's true or not, I mean, you really just don't. I mean, you really don't know. Only he knows if he did it or not. I mean, that's really the thing. So, but he did win the Masters. Jordan Spieth shot at 64. He was trying to make a comeback. Tiger, wasn't the best. His driving was just sucky. His putting was sucky. He just didn't look comfortable like he did the first.
He had a good last round though.
Yeah, a
Like,
good
he
last
finally,
round.
he showed some.
But he looked shaky in the
some
beginning.
flashes of brilliance.
He just now said he will play in the U.S. Open, so we will get to see Tiger again. He's also committed to playing his tournament here in D.C., so we'll get to see him in D.C. So, Chris, it's your show now, man. Champions League, Real Madrid with that. I mean, I don't know, controversial. I mean, I don't know what you want to say.
Oh,
BS.
100% controversial penalty against him and
Soft penalty. I like you meant.
extra time.
Soft.
Extra time because
Soft.
it was an extra time and even past the extra
What
time.
do
they
you
had the
think? I don't think it
penalty.
was a penalty. What do you think?
I think it was soft. I think he sold it just like he normally does. I mean, he's got the nickname of Penaldo for a reason. So,
And what do you think
You know,
about
I-
Buffon getting the red card his last UCL? I mean, he shouldn't have done what he did, but
No.
still, I mean, he was upset. I mean, how do you expect him to react?
yeah, I completely agree with you. It's a complete BS call, but that's neither here nor there. There's nothing we can do about it now. Real Madrid moves on past Juventus. So the final four teams are Real Madrid, Roma, Bayern Munich, and
Liverpool of all things.
Liverpool.
I hope.
Liverpool. Go ahead.
I said I hope they don't pair Real against Bayern because literally the winner of that will probably win the Champions League.
I agree
It'll be the
with
same
you.
as last year.
I mean, it's literally anyone can face anybody, but I really think that would be the best matchup for the final. 100%. Bayern Munich is a force to be reckoned with, and the league.
So me and you can both agree
their
if they're
league.
on opposite sides, they're going to win. Now let's say it is Bayern versus Real in the semis. Who gets out of that? I'm going with Bayern.
I'm going with Real Madrid. I
Okay.
mean, I really think that they're the best team right now that's left in this draw. Even though they lost this last game, they really got nothing else to play for. I mean, really, Champions League is their number one concern right now because they really don't have a shot in La Liga.
Well, Bayern already locked up, the German league, so
Exact-
it's not like this is their main thing now. They could rest their
I
guys
agree.
in the rest of the German league and be like, whatever.
I just think that Real Madrid is just a slightly better team this year, but
Okay.
it's like 51-49. I mean, it could go either way.
So who would you
But,
Who would you get in the Liverpool, Roma?
Liverpool-Roma?
I would take Liverpool probably.
I mean, I would like to see Liverpool move on. I mean, honestly, I it's not that I don't like Roma. Obviously, they beat my team, Barcelona, but I just feel like the Cinderella story of Liverpool getting into the finals would be an awesome story. I mean, why not root for the underdog in that case?
All right, so I'm gonna segue to the main part of the show. Well, no, we're gonna do them. What do we have? What do we do? NBA, NHL. What do you guys want to do first?
Go ahead.
We'll go NBA. Anthony, congrats to Taylor Hall real quick for you guys pulling within.
Wait, we're not talking about it. We're just gonna.
Okay.
I had a quick fist pump over here for the goal, and that's it. We're gonna continue on.
So let's get to NBA.
I do want to say though, real quick, that you made fun of me changing the shirt. Since I changed the shirt, it's now 1-0 Devils.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, we got the NBA playoffs. Everything is set. Real quick, I'll go through the matchups, and then we'll pick who we got coming out. So East, we're gonna have Toronto Wizards. They're gonna play the winner of Cleveland, Indiana. The other side of the bracket, Boston, Milwaukee. They play the winner of Philadelphia and Miami. And then we go down, Houston, Minnesota. Winner of that plays Portland and New Orleans. And then Golden State, San Antonio.
No.
What? What did I get the wrong? Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, you're right.
Houston,
Sorry.
Minnesota plays Oklahoma City, Utah.
You're right. I went too quick. And then Golden State, Portland. So let's go with the East side. Let's start with the home team, Wizards, Toronto. I give the Wizards a shot. You got John Wall back healthy. The only reason they dropped to the 8th seed was because John Wall was out. He's back now. Beal's there. The Wizards. This is probably the most dangerous 8th seed they've ever had, and they've had Toronto's number during the regular season. So if we're gonna talk matchup here, I'm gonna be a homer. I'm gonna say upset first round. Wizards advance. I'm gonna go with the home team.
I would love to be a homer. I really would. I just think Toronto has too much depth, and it'll probably be close. I really think these are going to be some good games, but I think Toronto wins in 6 or 7 games. Well, yeah, I'd say 6.
Anthony, any what's your take on that?
I have Toronto winning. I don't think it's going to be as close as you guys think it is. I think Toronto is the class of the East right now.
They are.
There's a reason they're the number 1 team. I think with the Celtics losing Kyrie, it really puts them head and shoulders above the rest of the teams. It's not to take away from Washington. I just think that they're going to run into a team that's playing really good basketball right now. And I think the Wizards, it's just a little too late for them to try and figure it out in the first round against
Toronto.
Toronto.
During the regular season, it's 1-1. It's Wizards won 122-119. Then they lost 95-102. And during that 95-102 loss, they were, they clawed their way back. Actually, it was a pretty even match throughout the entire game. But I'm going to go over the home, and I'm going to say it's going to be an upset in the first round.
Obviously, there's a chance. There's definitely a chance.
Out of both 8 seeds from both sides, they have the best chance. There's no way Minnesota is going to beat Houston, so they have the best chance.
Don't ever say no way, man. Never say never.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go to the winner who they would play. Cleveland, Indiana. I'm going Cleveland. LeBron becomes a different person in the playoffs. He's a different animal.
I think we're pretty much all going to agree with that one.
I agree. I think Cleveland is the number 2 seed right now. That's where I'd rank them.
Boston, Milwaukee. I'm going to go another low C upset, and the 1-2 seeds are going to be done in the first round. Milwaukee pulls this out. Anthony?
I'm going to go Boston. I think that, yes, the loss of Kyrie hurts, but I think this will go 7 games, and I think Boston will pull it out. They still have some good players on that team, but their chances after that don't look too good, and I think that they'll pull out a first round win in 7.
Chris?
Yeah, Anthony asked me right before the show who I had there, and I think I said Milwaukee, but I think I'm going to switch over to Boston. They're obviously not the same team without Kyrie, but just looking more into the statistics for Milwaukee, their 3-point is not good, and if they can't get the easy buckets, then they're going to have a hard time winning this series.
All right, real quick before we go, quick shout out to 2 guys in the chat, Jack and Gorman, or JD as we call them. They're both a couple of my JV players. So Jack got the win today on the mound, one hitter. So congrats to him today with his game. So all right, let's move on to the final matchup. We have Philly and Miami, and I got Philly in 4. Sweep City. They're playing the best basketball right now out of anyone. I'm going Philly.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't know about a sweep, but I think I agree with you. I think 4-1.
Anthony?
I have Philly winning as well. Is it just not scary right now? What Philly sports is doing, and Villanova, the Eagles, is the 76ers the next team to try and go.
You never know.
The Flyers, we'll see if they bounce back. Obviously, yesterday wasn't too good a game, but is it right now? Is it just Philadelphia's time in all of sports? Even the Phillies aren't
baseball.
having a bad start. Well, they're not having a terrible start. A lot of
Yeah.
people thought they'd do much worse. So they just scored 20 runs in one game a couple days ago. So
against a minor league team. So
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. A win's a win, my friend.
all right, let's go. So we'll speed this up for the second round. I'm gonna have obviously Cleveland over the Wizards, and I'm gonna go Philly over Milwaukee, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and go through. I'm gonna
Hold on.
have.
We're
what?
gonna hold the last one. Let's go to the West. You haven't even touched. Let's touch the West.
All
Get
right.
to that point.
Um,
The final 4 teams.
Houston
So-
over Minnesota. I'll go Houston over Minnesota. I'll go Golden State over San Antonio. Even without Curry, I think they still. I mean, you got Kevin Durant there, and that's the reason you bring him in. I'll go New Orleans with the upset over Portland. I think Anthony Davis may do enough just to carry that upset. And then I'm going to go OKC over Utah because, I mean, it's Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
Your
All
guys'
right.
first round?
All right, I'll
all
go.
right. So go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No,
Sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You're good. You're good, bro. Go
All
for
right,
it.
so I was just gonna say real quick. I think Houston over Minnesota. That's probably the only sweep I see in the first round. I do have Oklahoma over Utah. I have Portland over New Orleans. I don't have any upsets, it looks like, in the first round. And Golden State over San Antonio. Like you said, Kevin Durant could easily be MVP. I mean, maybe not easily, but he's always in the talk. He's always in the running of being MVP.
All right. Anthony?
All right. So yeah, on the West side, I have Houston winning over Minnesota. I do have Utah in 7 over Oklahoma City. And then on the bottom, I have Portland and Golden State.
All right, so now we'll move to the second round. Like I said, I'll go Cleveland over Wizards and Philly over Milwaukee. You guys?
And then what about on the West side? What do you got?
I'll go Houston over. Where am I here?
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I'll
we
go
got
Houston over
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City, and I'll go Golden State over New Orleans.
Okay. Chris, what you got?
I have Cleveland over Toronto. You can't count LeBron James out of any series, I don't think. And one thing we didn't touch is this is the first time in his career that he actually played all 82 games in the season. So, you can look at it 2 ways: whether he's tired, he's been playing every single game, or you can look at it as he's as healthy as he's ever been in his career, and he has not slowing down. So I have Cleveland over Toronto. I have Philadelphia over Boston in that round there. Houston over the Thunder. I actually like the Thunder, but I think Houston is the number 1 seed for a reason. And then I have Golden State over Portland.
All right.
Perfect.
For my
San
All right.
Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. On the
Yeah.
East side, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm ready to just go right over it.
Yeah.
On the East side, I agree with Chris. Everything he said basically about Cleveland. There's a reason, love him or hate him, that LeBron James is the best in the game today. I think Cleveland's starting to figure it out, and I think that the Cavaliers get past Toronto here. On the bottom part, I also have Philadelphia over Boston. Then going to the West side, I have Houston over Utah, and I have Golden State over Portland. So the final 4, I think Chris and I are almost. I think we are. I have the exact same. And did you take Toronto? Did you say, Matt? Or did you take Cleveland?
I had the Wizards in the first round upset.
Oh, that's right. So you have Cleveland in the
Cleveland.
final, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we all have the exact same final 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Cleveland versus Houston in the finals.
I'm going to backpack that and second it.
Yep. That's exactly what I have.
And I'm gonna go Houston wins it all.
That's what I have.
I'm going to say LeBron James wins it all. LeBron James versus the Beard. I think LeBron James wins.
Now, let me ask you this before we move on real quick.
Uh-huh.
If either one, we both have Houston and Cleveland. If you see the rematch, Golden State Cleveland, do you see Golden State winning, or you still have Cleveland?
I guess it all depends, right? It's because Steph Curry is set to come back, right?
Yeah, 2nd round.
Yeah, he's set to come back. So I think it all depends on how Steph Curry plays in that 2nd and 3rd round when he comes back. So if he's on the top of his game, if he doesn't miss a step, then I could definitely see Golden State taking it. But
I swear to God, if we get a 4th year in a row of this, I'm not even gonna watch it. I'm tired of it.
Well, it's possible.
4 years in a row, man.
It's not like it's fixed. They win the game.
Right.
I know it's not fixed, but it's just boring.
I mean,
Good basketball is not boring, Matt.
It is when LeBron keeps losing and people keep saying he's better than Jordan. God.
He is better than Jordan. Look at all the stats.
Cut off his thing.
That's another time, another conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a stat for you. Undefeated in a Super Bowl in the finals. How about that stat?
Yeah.
Someone
How about
cut
that
his mic
stat?
off.
Undefeated in the finals. How about that
I
stat?
think he needs some coffee.
Matt, I want to ask you on the opposite side now, since I asked Chris. If Philly were to beat Cleveland, does that change anything for you about Houston, or you think that
Nah,
Houston's
Houston's year. They're just too good this year.
Yeah, I think, but to answer your question, I know that was directed at Matt, but if Philly beats Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think Houston takes that one.
Okay,
Houston
that's
or
right. You had Cleveland. That's right.
Yeah, Houston or Golden State, depending on whoever takes that matchup. I think the West definitely has an edge over the East, unless it's Cleveland. I just think LeBron James is on another level.
You think Toronto has any change in that finals if they do get past Cleveland in that second round, or you think it still stays West?
I think it still stays West. I think the West has always had an advantage for many, many, many years. So I think
I agree.
I think it's just either LeBron James or bust, I think.
Fair enough.
All right, we're going to shift gears here to the other sport that's underway in their playoffs. Before we get started, we'll give some quick score updates. Playoffs started today for NHL. Actually, they started yesterday. After yesterday's game, we'll go ahead. Pittsburgh is up 7-0. They won 7-0. They won 7-0. Yeah, against Philly.
Series, yeah.
Winnipeg is up 1-0 their series against Minnesota, and Vegas, first year Vegas up 1-0 against the Kings. Who would have thought that?
About a 1-0 shutout too, man.
Jeez. Well, they got one of the best goalkeepers. I don't care. You know what that was? I can't believe Pittsburgh let that happen.
Didn't have a choice, man.
And then for today, Capitals already up 2-1, rocking the red. Boston's up 3-1, and Tampa Bay's up 3-1. The Devils. Boston's over Toronto. So let's get to the playoffs. I'm gonna let our hockey guru take over for this segment. Anthony, the floor is yours. The microphone is yours. Whatever it is, it's yours.
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's get right into this. Let's do it how we did the last one. Let's talk. We're gonna do the first round on both sides. We'll get to our Final Four on the East and on the West, and then we'll break it down from there and get to the Final Four overall, and then we'll just kind of do it like that. And we'll just do each conference together instead of separating it,
Real
just to
quick,
kind of make it progress a little more.
In the chat, a couple more guys are in. What's up, Brett, and what's up, Asher? All right, Anthony, get going. You can go ahead. Sorry.
Absolutely. So let's start on the Western side with a game that Game 1 will be tonight, and that is Nashville and Colorado. I think Colorado here as a wild card is one of the more dark horse teams that people need to watch for. Unfortunately, I don't think that the Predators are losing.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go with.
They might be good, but they're not.
They're not beating Nashville in the first round.
They're not Nashville good. Yeah.
Nashville is the first seed for a reason again, and you're talking about a place where Vegas all year was in the top of the Western Conference. So Nashville definitely got to their spot, and they're looking to stay there. So Nashville over Colorado. Then the second game where Nashville will meet the winner, I have Winnipeg and Minnesota. I have Winnipeg winning this one. Going down to the bottom of the Western Conference, I got the Vegas Golden Knights over the LA Kings, winning their an expansion team, not only winning their first playoff game yesterday, but now winning their first.
Has that ever happened before in hockey?
Series. No, I don't know.
I don't think
so. In any sport?
In the playoffs.
I don't know about any sport.
I don't know.
Definitely
I know in hockey,
hockey.
because they set the most wins in a hockey season for an expansion team, like 15, 20 games ago.
How long? Real quick. Speaking of any team ever, like in any sport, how long did it take for Jacksonville to reach that AFC Championship? A couple of years?
It was a couple of years, yeah.
Couple
under
years?
Coughlin,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Anthony.
No, you're okay. So I got Vegas winning that one, and then on the West, to finish the West side, I got Anaheim over San Jose in a close one as well. So real quick, before we get to the East side, let's run the West side, and then we'll go to the East. So Chris, who you got on the West side?
West side, I think Nashville is the strongest team right now. So I think Nashville moves on. I think Winnipeg and Minnesota is going to be kind of tough, but I have Winnipeg going on. Real quick, Vegas, it's a dream story. Especially with what happened in in Vegas recently. I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but you can't say it may. It might. It doesn't. You can't say it doesn't. I think it does have a little bit of an X factor, I guess, to that team. So I think Vegas moves on, and I think the Sharks move on. And I don't know why, but I think the Sharks go on over the Ducks.
I think that might be the toughest first round matchup on either side right there. So
that's the closest 2-3, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a real close game. So, Matt, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Nashville, obviously winning, maybe sweepage some there, maybe some sweep action.
I don't see that happening, but continue.
I'm gonna go with even before all of yesterday I had Winnipeg. I have Anaheim, and I'm gonna go with Vegas to get by, only because that's Bryce Harper's favorite team.
So let's get to the Eastern Conference side, and we'll start right at the top with the number 1 seed, and that's Tampa and the Devils. I have Tampa winning. I know you can call me whatever you want to say. I am a fan of the Devils. That does not make me less of a fan. What they've done this season already, going from the first overall pick and having, I think, only like 20-something wins to being in the playoffs, losing their starting goaltender, not having a game win since like December 26th or 27th, I think it was, going with Kincaid and making that switch, going with like 3 other goalies. So I can't say enough good things about them, but this, unfortunately, is just not their time, not their season. Tampa's too good of a team, and they will advance to the next round. The next one I have at Boston and Toronto. I have Boston beating the Maple Leafs here. Then we go down to the bottom of the Eastern Conference bracket. Your Capitals, think, get their first round win here over Columbus. And then I have Pittsburgh beating Philadelphia. And if it's going to be similar to how it was yesterday, I hope not for the Flyers fans, especially for my pal Joe. I know he wasn't too happy about that, which I completely understand. I wasn't happy to watch the Devils start off 3-0 today, so I get it. But I think Pittsburgh has definitely got going to the next round here. Chris, what you got? I'm sorry, Matt.
No, I'll get to it when it comes, when we were talking about it.
Okay.
I'll wait to my pick, and I'll let you know.
Well, it doesn't make you any less of a fan, Anthony. I mean, you're just being honest, and I'm going to be honest myself once it comes later down to the Capitals. So, but starting from the top, Tampa Bay, I think definitely takes this one. It could be a clean sweep. We'll see. I think the Bruins are a much better team than the Maple Leafs. So I think Boston moves on. The Capitals are the 1 seed, and Columbus is the wild card here, but I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. I don't think the Capitals are going to sweep it. I think it's going to take about 6 games for us to move on, but I think the Caps will advance. And I think the Penguins are just, as we saw yesterday, I think the Penguins are just too much to handle for the Flyers. So I think Pittsburgh moves on.
I think you have an Eli fan in the chat, Anthony. This guy, Henry, wrote Capitals are going out in round 1. Then his little, I guess, icon is an Eli Manning. There you go. You may have a Giants fan in the chat.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. You're not the only one. Before we get to my things, I just want to say our buddy Zach was pretty crude what he said to Joe on Twitter yesterday. I don't know if you caught what he wrote.
Yeah, not about it. I saw he wrote he fixing his grammar. He put
Joe
that
wrote,
goal was soft, and he wrote goals with an asterisk. Yeah,
pretty
it was
messed
a little
up.
much.
A little much. Zach, you know how Zach is. So my first round.
We love you, Zach.
Yeah, we all do.
Hey, hold on. Before we get any further, look at what Henry wrote now. Eli for MVP. Now we're talking. Now we're getting next one.
Don't you dare put that. Don't do it, Paul. Don't do it. Oh, no. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay over I was about to say Devil Rays, over the Devils. I'm going to go with Washington over Columbus. I'm going to go with Boston over Toronto, and I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. There we go.
Okay. So let's just stay on the east side, and let's do these 2 matchups first, and then we'll jump to the west. I'm just going to do all of those back to back. I'll do Eastern and the Western, and then I'm going to come to you, Chris.
Sure.
On the east side, the Eastern side, I got Tampa over Boston in a close series, and then I have Pittsburgh beating the Capitals. On the Western side, I have the Predators over Winnipeg, and I have the feel-good story like Chris talked about. I think they're playing with a lot of heart, and I have Vegas over Anaheim to advance to the Western Conference Finals. Chris, what you got?
Cool. Yeah, I think that that 1 and 2 matchup, Tampa Bay against Boston, is going to be really tough. But I think the Lightning is definitely, I think they have the edge in that one. So I think Tampa Bay is going to advance. Um, and just like you, I have to be honest. Washington just can't seem to get past not only the second round, but just can't seem to get past Pittsburgh. So I think that might even be another 7-game series. Honestly, you know what? Actually, I don't think it's going to be a 7-game series. The Washington team is not the same team that they were last year and years past. I think Pittsburgh could definitely take this in 5 games. But I think Pittsburgh moves on. Nashville definitely over Winnipeg, and Vegas over the Sharks. I think that one's also going to be really close. I do like San Jose, but I want to go with the feel good Vegas story.
Oh, jeez. Taking shots at Evan Ingram in the chat there.
Yeah, I say that we're talking hockey right now, Matt. So continue. What you got?
I'm going to go Tampa Bay over Boston. I'm going to go Caps over Pittsburgh. I think I'm hoping we finally get over the hump. My heart says we will. If Ovi shows up, it's got to be Ovi, and it's got to be Grubauer, man. I think he's going to lead this team, man. He's got the hot glove right now. I was listening to 106.7 The Fan last night. There's some goalie coach that hasn't been around in a while, and they said since he hasn't been around as much as he used to. Holtby, that's when Holtby started to struggle. So maybe that could be the reason he doesn't have his coach around. But Grubauer, I think this is his team now. Other side, I'm gonna go Nashville, and Anthony, I'm with you, man. I'm going Vegas keeps the streak going. I'm going with Vegas.
I think Chris and I had the exact Final Four again here, huh? Just like an NBA. All right, so let's stay with the Western Conference. First, I have, unfortunately, the Predators are too much here for Vegas, and I have the Predators advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals. And then on the Eastern side, I have Tampa advancing. So I have Tampa and Nashville lined up for the Stanley Cup Championship. Chris, who you got in the finals?
Yeah, I think Nashville is just a little too much for Vegas. I mean,
Yeah.
Vegas is a great story, but Nashville has just been a force to be reckoned with since the start. So I think Nashville advances. Tampa Bay against Pittsburgh, I think that's going to be really tough too. But I think Lightning's gonna go ahead and take that. And maybe because I don't like the Penguins, but who knows?
That's very fair. That definitely definitely helped my reasoning.
Yeah.
Matt,
I'm gonna
strong. What you got?
go. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay versus Nashville.
All right, Matt. I'm just gonna keep you in the hot seat. Who you got?
Nashville, all day, baby. Go Predators. Go Tennessee. Go Nashville.
Chris, who you got?
I think Nashville as well.
All right, I am going to go opposite of both of you.
And
I've picked this team since before the trade deadline to win it all. They made the trades they had to make, and I think that Tampa is just that powerful of a team, and I think the Lightning get the Stanley Cup. And honestly, I wouldn't mind Nashville winning either, just not Pittsburgh. That's all. Zach, I know you're not going to like that, but I'm sorry. I just don't want to see Pittsburgh win again.
Yep.
I guess I can't say
100%
that.
fine with that.
I hate
So
Sidney Crosby.
I think either way, that'd be
dude.
great. Obviously, I think we can all agree. I know Matt's definitely leans more towards Nashville because that's his team since he switched from the Capitals recently. But we would all love to see Vegas win it all.
Oh yeah, hands down, no doubt.
It would be great to see.
What
and
a
just
story that'd
seeing
be.
history. It's a story, the history of an expansion team doing it.
Yeah.
And like Chris talked about earlier, just a feel-good story because of everything that happened there in Vegas. It would just be amazing to see. So you got to love those sports stories. And I think we're in for an awesome, awesome playoffs from not only NHL but the NBA that we touched on.
I mean,
too.
if
So
you're
I'm
going
very
to go with a
much
story
looking
like
forward to
that
it.
for Vegas, you could also say, Tampa Bay for all of Florida after what happened last month, man.
There's so many stories. You know what I mean? There's so many stories that, like I said, just make it that much better to watch sports. Sport it's bigger than the game. They say
That's
that.
why no
exactly
one
what I
likes
was gonna
Pittsburgh
say.
because
But
they're
it's
just all
100%
about
true.
themselves.
No, I wouldn't say that. We won't go there. But either way, we're in for a great playoff run for both of these. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much does it for both the NHL and the NBA playoffs. What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to, go on to a different sport real quick since we're on Tennessee. They revealed their new jerseys for next year, and I got to say they're pretty nice for the Titans, man. Titans got some pretty nice new uniforms for next year.
Yeah,
Looks like-
I thought that was interesting.
I think the whole little thing they did was pretty cool. They had like Florida Georgia Line was performing. They brought back like Eddie George.
Did they really?
Frank Wycheck, all of them came back wearing the old
Frank
jerseys. and
Wycheck. Holy moly. There
They
you
all
go.
they all came back wearing the old jerseys, and then the new guys came out with the new jerseys, and then out of nowhere George and all of them are taking off the old ones, and they're the new jerseys, and I mean it was a pretty cool event for them to have.
That's dope.
It's new jerseys. I think it's definitely a different time for the franchise what they're doing there.
New Jersey's new team. Is that
Yeah.
what we're saying here?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of new teams, did you see the money that Jarvis Landry got today from his new team?
Yeah.
Mm.
Good for him.
Yeah.
How much
Hey, the
was
Browns
it?
made all the right moves on paper, so let's see if
On
it pays
paper.
off.
5 years,
Yep.
75 million. And speaking of new teams, just real quick before we go, quick 2 minutes touch on little Colin Kaepernick before we get going. Had a planned visit with the Seahawks, and they told him no, we're going to postpone it because he said he's still going to kneel.
There's a
Didn't he-
lot more that's been said to that story, so until I see, I'm sure that definitely had
But real quick, to
Reason
that
behind it,
point,
but-
real quick, I thought he said he was going to stand from now on.
he said that he would definitely discuss it. I don't think he ever 100% committed to that he would stand in order to get, because he's going to he's going to base it off of his decision, what he wants to do. So
Now here, I have another
respect
quick
that
question
he
for
wants-
you.
he's
Besides
he's going to do
him,
what he wants to do, but that's going to possibly cost him. But again, the Seahawks are saying that there was more in the situation that was asked, and then his reps are saying that it was because of kneeling. So I'm sure more will come to light on the story.
Yeah.
But as you saw with Eric Reed when he went in for a visit with the team, that was one of the first things they asked him. They said, "What was what was the thing behind the kneeling?" So it becomes.
I was
down
about to ask,
a-
do you think Eric Reed is getting blackballed now?
I don't know. I think that he's definitely going to get an opportunity. It's just going to take time as we get closer to after. I think a lot of teams, and this has nothing to do with Eric, it's just in general, you could see like a guy like Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. The teams are seeing now the draft's so close, they want to see what's going to happen. They want to save a little money. They don't want to give out these big contracts to guys that they're not 100% confident that are going to be a starter necessarily, when they could still go to the draft and maybe get someone to fill that role. And then obviously it'd be a youth movement for them too by getting someone younger in the draft. So I think it's going to be that these guys are going to end up on a team. As you saw, RG3's on the Ravens. I mean, no one expected that to happen, but after a few years,
I was going to bring that up as soon as we were.
the
We're done
talent's
with this
there.
one.
You know what I mean? The talent's there in RG3. So I know you don't like him, Matt, but the guy got his
He
career
still
cut
has me
short there.
blocked. I'm still blocked. It's been like 3 or
Yeah,
4
well,
years
I don't
now.
blame him.
He needs to get
I don't
over
blame
it. It's not my fault he cheated and did all this other
If I
crap.
had it, actually, I
He
might
didn't
just,
cheat.
I might just create.
What do you mean he didn't cheat?
What are you talking
What?
about? He cheated.
What are you talking about?
Cheat on his wife.
Oh Lord, we're not talking
Oh,
about
here
that
we
right
go.
now.
Why?
We're
We're
talking
talking
football.
about the game of football. We're not talking about personal stuff.
RG3 must be best friends
know
with
what? I'm
Tristan
gonna-
Thompson.
I'm
Why
gonna
don't you just
create-
stop while you're ahead?
I gotta be. I'm gonna
What did
create
I
a
say,
Twitter
Paul?
Tonight.
What did I say?
What?
What?
I'm gonna
I
create a
s-
Twitter tonight just to block you and follow RG3.
That's
Just-
fine. You can follow him because he's just gonna,
Yeah,
get
just
on
let it go,
fights
man.
with Santana
Let it go.
Moss.
Like, didn't he just say it's been 3-4 years and he has me blocked? Yet he still brings it up 3 or 4 years later. So who's
Yeah,
the one
it's
that's harping
ridiculous.
on it? You think RG3 is like, oh man, that guy's shipe. He really got under my skin. He don't care. He probably don't even know who you are.
I must have if he blocked me.
Yeah, and he just moved on. He ain't talking about it right now.
He's living his best life right now. Okay.
That's it. And he's playing for the Baltimore Ravens.
Just
I
got
mean,
married. He just got a contract.
He was
you
married
know,
before
he's-
this one.
he's- I'm
Well,
just
let's-
saying he
hey.
just got married. Things are looking up right now.
yeah, good for him.
Well, so what's
until he
the
gets
so
cut.
is he? Is he just like? He doesn't have like.
No,
the-
he's competing for the backup role.
Well, you don't know.
He could
Maybe,
get the
maybe he
starting
could be
job.
the starter. You never know.
I-
Maybe
I
Flacco, they don't
texted-
buy it.
Exactly. I texted Matt as soon as I heard the news. I said at some point this
Of course
season.
you did
we'll
because
start
you
again.
hanged with him on like his left junk down there.
Tell me Joe Flacco is what was the term everyone gave him? Of course, an elite player. What was
Stop
it?
it. We're not doing that here with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is not elite. He had
Is
one
he-
good season.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's elite at all. I could
I don't
see
think
him
he's
I
throwing.
top
never said he
20 quarterback.
was.
I could see him throwing 5 interceptions in a game and then RG3 starting the next game.
Yeah, and
Why
then
not?
fumbling the ball
Yeah.
and tearing his ACL.
Matt, just quick. It's a quick answer. You don't have to. We're not going to get in depth with it. Do you think Joe Flacco makes the team that much better?
It's just yes or no.
No.
Okay, so then why can't RG3 be the quarterback? That's all Chris is saying. That's all I'm saying. We're going to see when training camp starts and he's in there. And speaking of that I'm going to do a little segue myself since we're talking NFL. Next week, make sure you come back for episode 99. We're going to have the mock draft since we're a week out of the draft already, and we'll definitely be talking that more. See that, Matt? I stole your thunder there a little bit.
Usually I do the segues, you bastard.
Hey, he's a producer now, so.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, exactly.
Speaking of
Speaking
funny things, since we're talking about a funny thing in RG3, so all my guy says I need to design a shirt after something I said last year on the show. Chris, I don't know if you get to remember this. So apparently, they went back and watched old episodes. Apparently, I said something about Justin Williams. Like I said something on the line of Mr. Game 7, more like Mr. Game Shit, because I guess he didn't show up for a Game 7. They're like, you should really make that shirt. You could probably make some money off of something like that.
Hey. Maybe.
So, I mean, you just don't put the name on there. You just put it on there. Maybe you could change names to like maybe LeBron or OV or someone whoever
I don't know.
doesn't
All
show
I
up
know
for
is
Game
that
7.
all those guys make millions of dollars and got to play the game. So
Yeah,
they're
That's
doing
fine.
something right.
That's still a cool shirt idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Justin Williams is a big time clutch player. So he might
Just
not have
didn't-
played well when you needed him, but
No one ever plays well when a DC team needs them. I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
RG3 did.
Jesus Christ. Kirk Cousins did too when he won 2 games and got into the playoffs.
Yeah, well, RG3 will be back. Don't worry.
I
He's
hope
gonna be there
Cousins
for-
makes the Super Bowl and just stick it to them all.
Write it down now, Chris. RG3 and the Ravens 10-6.
What?
Ooh.
What? Can you cut off his mic?
I'm just kidding. Get us out of here. Get us out of here.
All right. As always, you know, Paul, you haven't done it in a while. I'll let you do it.
Not 10-6, 9-7.
You already said 10-6.
10x
a
is
joke.
yeah, I
It
like
was a
that
joke.
one.
We'll see.
Oh, it's on record now.
Yeah.
It's on.
Take
It's
it.
online.
That's all right. I
If
was
it's
on
online,
record with
it's
Blake
true.
Bortles and Jaguars when you guys all laughed at me, so I'll take that one too. This happens through too.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. Everybody in the chat room, thanks for chiming in. Everybody watching on Facebook, everybody watching on the YouTubes. If you're watching on Facebook, like the Facebook page. Hop over to YouTube so you can subscribe and like our YouTube page. It's just YouTube.com/Shipe Sports Talk. You can send us emails or send us Twitters.
Tweets.
Tweets. To @Shipe Sports Talk, and we'll hit you back and we'll just mention you on the air next time for sure if you bring up any good points. So it's www.shipesportstalk.com for some old podcasts.
Like Owl, like the first 10 episodes.
It's a long.
And then we gave up on the website.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
screwed.
no, whatever. We just have it online now on the videos because that's actually when we went to videos. Remember?
Yeah.
Before that.
Before it was just like hearing us.
That's right. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Is that it?
That's it. So for myself, Anthony, Paul, and Chris, like I said, thanks for watching. Next week, we have our 99th episode, NFL mock draft. We'll do the top 10, do our surprise picks. We'll see. Anthony's will predict who the Giants will take. Chris will take over the Redskins, and I will do the Titans. And, you know, unlike those two teams, I got to wait until like 24 or something because, you know.
I'd rather pick in the top
The
5
top
than pick
five.
24th, knowing I didn't make it to the Super Bowl.
Someone just asked in the chat, is anything planned for the 100th episode? More
Stay
to come
tuned.
next week. Stay tuned for next week. It's going to get a little...
tuned.
Man,
Yeah.
you know, I just realized for the 100th episode, I actually took off the next day.
There you go.
Well,
Make it rowdy.
that's a good reason.
Make it rowdy. I took off for the Avengers, and I'm going to watch them. But
Okay.
so, all right, guys, everyone in the chat, you know, all my players, thanks for watching. And to my team, let's get it done, guys. Let's go for the sweep of the doubleheader on Saturday.
Get lots of touchdowns.
Good luck, yeah.
You mean like what Pittsburgh
Yes,
did to the Flyers?
And here we go. You had to do it, huh?
All right, that was Paul. All right, let's go. Get out of here. Goodbye.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Be on time to school.
Have a good night, everybody.
Glad to have you back, Chris.
It's good to be back.
I hate RG3.